What's up? My name is Bridger Frederick. This is my closet. This is my YouTube channel. Welcome to both. And my glasses have a weird reflection in them because these are blue light blocking glasses because it's 8:30 at night right now, and I wear these for an hour or so before I go to sleep because apparently the blue light from artificial light from phones causes you to not produce melatonin and once the sun goes down, so it disrupts your sleep. If you're interested in it, go learn about it from Google or someone else that knows way more about blue light blocking glasses than I do. All I know is they've got a weird reflection in them, so I thought I would explain what's going on there. But anyways, I'm a T10 paraplegic, permanently in a wheelchair that you can't see and I can't show you because there's a little microphone hooked to my phone, and I'll pull it off this little dresser that's sitting on inside my closet. But this is a really important episode. It's probably the most important episode I've done so far, especially if you are someone who is fresh living with a spinal cord injury or really not doing well living with a spinal cord injury or want to be doing better, and you have any sort of neurological deficit like a spinal cord injury. And this episode is probably pretty applicable to people of all walks of life and might be interesting for most people, but is certainly very much so for someone who is not in a great place and experiencing any sort of neurological deficit. So I'm going to jump straight into it, and it's about like vulnerability, and it's ironically the inability to be vulnerable, I would say, is one of my greatest weaknesses and probably caused me more pain, less progress than any other single attribute I have as a person over the last 2.5, almost 3 years since I got injured in a car wreck in November 2019. And it is August 2022 right now. So nearly 3 years. And my inability to ask for help, my inability to say that I'm hurting, that I'm suffering, that I need help, and reach out to people I love who care about me and would obviously have come to my aid immediately, that my inability to do that has been not only my greatest hindrance, but also my girlfriend, Kelsey, who's been alongside me this whole time. It's been a huge burden for her because I was the only person I could be vulnerable to because of my pride or my fear of rejection or fear of what people would think of me was her. And so it was a huge burden for her because she had to bear all my sadness and suffering. She was the only one who really knew how much pain I was in. And I even hid most of it from her, which caused me immense amount of suffering, is just having no one whatsoever to share it with or say, be vulnerable to, or just say I'm weak, I need help, please help me. Like, I couldn't voice that. It's just, and I don't know why. I guess it's a pride thing. I don't know what it really boils down to. I'm sure it's something to do with childhood or psyche or who knows. I'm not a psychologist. Don't intend to be one, but all I know is that if I had just reached out sooner, like when I really, really needed help right from the beginning, I mean, it kind of sucked because right after I was released from the hospital, it was full COVID lockdown. So spent a few months in Denver just locked down in an apartment, and no one was really traveling. All my family and friends are based in Idaho. At the time, I didn't really know anyone in Denver. It was just me and Kelsey living there. So it was pretty limiting as far as who I could reach out to. But I don't think I really would have reached out to anyone anyways. But I think there would have been people there voluntarily just helping me against my will. But because it was 7-8 months before anyone really started traveling again, and I had got on just fine and played it off like everything was good and that I was doing great that whole time, everyone just kind of probably assumed I was doing fine and didn't really reach out, naturally, as I gave the impression that that was the case. So I don't know. I just wanted to share this because I think it is probably what has caused me the most torment, the most unnecessary suffering, and has really halted my progress financially, physically, and emotionally, all matter of healing, more than any other factor since I've been injured. Is just the fact, if I just reached out and got the support I needed and got the help I needed and had emotional support and just physical help with things, I think I would have, I just would have progressed 100,000 times faster. I mean, it's not even like a couple people really investing in you and helps you invest twice or move forward twice as fast. It's like 100,000 times more efficient, because they're gonna reach out to other people. They're gonna help you. They're gonna tell you, it's just gonna expand your world so much. There's gonna be so many more options available to you. They're gonna push you to go see the right doctors, to see the right specialists, to sign up for the right trials, to apply for the right grants, to do all those things that are so hard to do when you're down and out, and just it's all you can do to just go to the bathroom and feed yourself, let alone maybe clean up your house a little bit. Like, when those three tasks are absolutely torturously hard for you, I mean, it's like a full day's work just to get your self-care, get out of bed, get your basic self-care done, and maybe maintain the space you live in to some degree of civility. How are you going to apply for grants? How are you going to look into research studies? How are you going to do physical therapy and stretch your legs and massage any part of your body below your level of injury, and move it around, stretch your arms, do arm exercise? How are you going to do any of that stuff if you can't even hardly feed yourself and use the bathroom and take a shower? Like, it's just not going to happen. You need help. And had I just swallowed my pride, and this is, I'm speaking like from 2.5 years of very intense suffering and very minimal progress, and I never really ended up reaching out to anyone. A friend of mine ended up moving in with me as like a mutual. He was in a point in his life where he was sick of what he was doing, and I was making some money on NFTs and crypto, and we were, he wanted to give it a shot, and in exchange for some knowledge, he was giving me some physical help and just helping me do whatever around the house and stuff, and being there and being around and having him to talk to, like, that was huge. That was a massive, and just having someone to be accountable to. I think that's what I'm really trying to get to in the crux of this, is like having someone to be vulnerable to and say that you're in pain and say that you're suffering and knows how much it hurts. That's huge. And then someone also around you who you really want to be accountable for and will hold you to whatever you say. Or if you're just the type of person that I am, I say something to someone and about what I'm going to do, and it makes it 100 times more likely that I'll actually do that thing if I'm accountable to another person. And so I really, really regret wasting years of the most critical years of an injury period, when you really need to be doubling down on physical therapy and healing and meditation and learning and research studies and alternative therapies, is in that first 2 years. And I just botched it so bad. I just, wasted away because of pride and stupidity, to be honest. And if that sounds like what you're doing, if you're scared to reach out to someone, if you're scared to say, I'm vulnerable, I'm suffering, please help me, don't be. It's, you have to do it. I can't, and it kind of sounds hypocritical coming from my mouth, because I'm telling you I didn't do that, and it was the biggest waste of time. It really was, and it's held me back so much, and I'll never get that time back. My spinal cord below my level of injury will have thinned more and more and more during that time. My muscle will have atrophied more, and what my joints will have gotten stiffer, my tendons will have shortened. It's critical. Like, it's a really, really important time. And if you are going to let pride and stubbornness get in the way of a happy, healthy, awesome life, like, who are you proving wrong? Like, you're hurting the people who love you, you're hurting yourself, you're hurting your future self. Like, think about, everything that I'm doing today, I'm doing for me in 10 years from now. I'm doing for the 40-year-old me. Like, I want the 40-year-old me to be the happiest, richest, most athletic version of my entire lifespan. Like, I'm doing that for the person 10 years from now. And if you're not willing to be vulnerable now and reach out now and get help, like, you're hurting the 40 or the 10-year later you, and all of those people around you, kids, parents, siblings, friends, whoever is close to you. Like, they're getting hurt by you just not taking care of yourself the way you deserve today. And you deserve help, you deserve love, and to be vulnerable and to tell someone how badly it hurts. And just be open. Then it's a double, everything's a double-edged sword. If you're the type of person that's constantly vulnerable and complaining all the time and just wants everyone to feel sorry for them, it can go the other way. You can be too vulnerable. There's something to be said for strength and resilience, and for not making every little thing everyone else's problem. I don't reaching out when if you're in the bottom of a pit, in the deepest depths of despair, that's when you got to reach out. You got to let someone know. You got to let people know how you're feeling. But, like, you're going to be in pain all day, every day. Everything's going to hurt. Everything's going to be scary. Everything's going to be complicated and harder to do. And there's lots of opportunities to complain. And you got to just find a balance. If I let everyone know all the time, every time I was in pain, every time my stomach hurt, every time my back hurt. I mean, if I let everyone know my back hurt, I would just basically be wailing 24/7. And like the nerve pain, it literally feels like I'm sitting in acid right now. Like I'm sitting in sulfuric acid or magma. Like it feels like my legs are burning off of my body right now, especially like my butt cheeks and lower back. Like the exact equivalent feeling that I know for a fact it would have felt like this if before I was injured, if I had turned like the electric, like those glass stovetops on full blast and they're nice and red, and I sat on that with a bare ass, about 10 seconds in, that's what this would feel like. I mean, if I was just sitting there on it, just roasting away, that's what it feels like right now. If I just let everyone know about that all the time and just said that 50 times every time I was hanging out with someone, of course no one would want to be around me. That's awful. So, there's a line between being vulnerable and just being annoying, I guess. Everyone hurts and feels anxiety and has negative thoughts all the time, but like, you don't need to share those with other people. You need to get rid of those inside yourself and not even be sharing those with yourself all the time. But it's when those are so overwhelming and overpowering and like you're all consumed and it's inhibiting your ability to even accomplish your basic needs in life, that's a completely different scenario. And that's exactly what it was for me. I mean, I took everything I could muster these glasses are like really a lot, but I want to sleep well tonight, so you're just gonna have to tolerate it. I'm gonna have to tolerate it. We're in this together. But that kind of threw me off track there. The point is if you're suffering, please reach out to someone. Don't waste this time. It's the most important time ever is right now. Like, if you haven't started healing or whatever point you are on your healing journey, you should double down today, because this is a super complex injury with so many ramifications for neglect. If you're just sitting around, not being active, not moving your joints, not getting the care you need, not getting the attention you need from therapists, you got to start taking action. There's a way to make it happen. There's people to help you. There's grants to pay for it. There's the only ingredient that's missing is willpower and persistence. It might not happen. You might muster all the willpower in the world, and if you give up in 7 days from now, or 14 days from now, or 28 days from now, or 3 months from now, you might not have got anywhere. I ground away working my tail off, trying as hard as I could, and some days I didn't do very much, but I tried all day, every day to manifest and accomplish and care for myself and do something. Some days all I could do was use the bathroom, cook food, and go back to sleep. But maximum effort every single day, and if that's all you can muster, then you need help. It's not valiant, it's not noble to do it alone. We're tribal creatures who are meant to come together and work together and support each other and love each other, and there's nothing admirable about just suffering completely alone to the detriment of your future self. Like, it's stupid. It's really dumb. So weigh the consequences heavily. If you don't take action now, if you have a spinal cord injury, if you have a neurological deficit, if you're quadriplegic, paraplegic, tetraplegic, whatever, or some other serious injury, if you're an amputee, or what, like, I don't know what people have going on. If you have any sort of neurological wasting disease, whatever it is, like, you have got to love yourself enough to take massive action today. I mean, and whatever it is that you can do, you need to be 100% burnout by the end of the day, with 100% of your time spent in forward motion. Even if it's little tiny incremental things, like, rather than spending time swiping on Instagram or watching pointless YouTube videos, at least watch something that makes you happy, healthier, smarter, better, have another skill, have a little bit more knowledge, just, gear yourself towards positive things. Like, on your feed, when you're on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, every time something makes you feel negative, doesn't make you smarter, like, curate what that screen is offering to you. And when someone you're following invokes any bullcrap in you, like when it's, anything, it doesn't matter if it's news, if it's important news from around the world, like, you're in a vulnerable position. You don't need to worry about what's happening in Ukraine. You don't need to worry about what the president's doing. That's a waste of your very vital, so important brain power that you need to be pushing down your spinal column, down your spinal cord, into your neglected, hurt, injured body, and healing it. You don't need to be worrying about what's happening in Ukraine. Unfollow that. Unfollow all that crap. Like, you got to get that stuff out of your, like, the weeds out of your garden of your mind. Like, you got to just rip that stuff out. And that's the little things you can do. Or rather than being on Instagram at all, you can get a app that does math problems or something for 5 minutes. You can journal. Like, you just have to start utilizing every single moment in time during your day, because that's the only shot we've got at not just coming back from spinal cord injury, just surviving this. I mean, there is a lot of complications lying ahead of you if you aren't actively every day trying to make yourself better and healthier, improving. If you're regressing at all, you're in for a world of hurt. I mean, and if you've regressed and you're in a really dark place and you have pressure sores, and like, the time is now, and it starts with mindset, positivity, ingesting things that allow you to have that mindset and that positive attitude. And then it always comes down to time management. If you aren't improving at any time, you're managing your time poorly. You can be spending it. I'm not saying you have to be pedantic and be like always journaling and reading and writing and intaking and exercising and meditating. Like, you can be hanging out with friends, you can be hanging out with family. You just have to be cognizant of how you're using that time. Are you enjoying it? Is it feeding you? Are you hanging out with friends and family wishing you were doing something else? Are you hanging out with friends and family just mindless? Like, are you distracted on your phone? Like, or are you relishing the time with the people that you love and letting it feed your soul? And are you sitting there in gratitude and joy and bliss that you're around people who care about you, and you get to give your love to them, and you get to tell them great things about them and brainstorm their problems together, and you get to be vulnerable to them and they get to be vulnerable for you? And that's what it should be. And if it's not that, then leave them. Like, get away from them. Like, whatever they're like, it's not that you can't come back to them. I'm not saying they're bad or anything, but if that's not what you're doing with them, you're poorly managing your time. Go do something productive. It doesn't have to be big. It can be just writing down 10 things that you want to accomplish, writing down one thing you want to accomplish. It can be as simple as reading a book about a skill that you want to have, or knowledge that you need, like about how to heal, about how to eat. Like, do you know how much you have to read about diet to have a clue about what you should be putting in your body? It's so confusing. I have read and watched and listened to so much stuff about diet, and I still know nothing about what I need to be eating other than pure trial and error. Excuse the weird stutter or whatever that was, weird pronunciation. But there's so much knowledge on diet. I mean, if you want any semblance of a chance of healing from spinal cord injury, like, if it comes in a package, stop eating it. One ingredient. Like, you need to be eating stuff that's one ingredient. If it has a list of ingredients on it that exceeds one ingredient, or maybe that ingredient in like salt or water, then it's no bueno. It's not good. Like, you need to be eating whole foods, but it doesn't, like, all the arguments about vegan, carnivore, pescatarian, whatever, like, you're gonna have to experiment with your own body, but it needs to be whole foods. Like, I know that for sure. You don't have to be like a crazy nutritional genius to realize that if you're ripping open plastic to get to your food, you're messed up already. It's the wrong food. Like, unless you're like literally peeling a piece of plastic back to a beautiful piece of meat, or cutting the plastic off the outside of a cucumber. I mean, that's kind of just the world we live in now. Even, Whole Foods are packaged, but, ideally, we get the picture. You know what I mean? Like, it needs to not be multiple ingredients. That's the easiest way to know whether or not you're messing up your nutritional situation. And what I'm getting at is that the time is more precious than ever. If you don't use every single second that you've got today ahead, like, whatever, it doesn't matter if it's 8 o'clock at night, and like, as soon as I get done with this, I'm going to go use every single second to make myself a little bit better, make myself a little bit happier, read or ingest things that bring me joy. I'm going to meditate and just think about the life that I want, and I'm going to sit here and breathe all the way through all the energy centers in my body, and think about the energy moving all the way up through my spinal cord, all the way back down to the bottom of my spinal column and my pelvis. I'm going to do that over and over again. Like, I'm going to, maybe it's only 0.0000001%, but I'm going to be that much better. I'm not going to regress or go backwards, because regression or moving backwards in our world, in this, in wheelchair world or whatever disabled situation in everyone's world, to be honest, it's a dark, dark future. It's just a dark future a lot sooner, and it's a lot darker than the average person. Anyone who neglects themselves and doesn't take their health very seriously is in for a rude wake-up call. But like, that wake-up call is right around the corner. Like, pressure sores, kidney failure, serious complications are right around the corner if you don't take responsibility and control for your health right now, today. And wrapping around the beginning of the video, that may be reaching out to someone and saying, I can't do it. I can't do one more little thing today. I don't have the ability to become 1% better by myself. I literally don't even have the ability to use the bathroom, shower, and feed myself. I have to choose 2 out of 3 of those to do today. And if that's the case, like, reach out. And if there's no one there to help you, start changing and transforming who you are, and what your goals are in life. Turn every single fiber of your being towards service and what you can do for others. And even if all you can do for them is love them and listen to them, I promise you people will be around quickly, because no one has that. Like, if you don't think you have anything to offer, then offer an ear and love, and I promise people will want to be around you. Like, it's all it takes in this world. Like, the most missing thing from all humans' lives that I know is someone who listens to them, understands them, and makes them feel like they're the most important thing in the world and that they're loved. So if you don't have people around you that want to help you, if you start doing those three things to everyone you meet, it won't be long. You'll be surrounded, you'll get the help you need, and if you want to keep increasing the help you have and the wealth and joy and love and everything you have in your life, then just make those three things the most important things that you have to offer forever, no matter what. You package that into any other offering that you have, whether you're an employee or you're a writer or you're a manufacturer making products. If your goal is to hear the people, to really hear and understand the people that you're serving, and then to love them, you're going to succeed. Like, it's not a high bar in this world to get to happiness and joy and a life filled with beautiful people that you love. Like, just start listening, start loving, you'll get help. Unless you have people that love you and would willingly help you, but you resist it, you act like you don't need it, you haven't asked, they just don't know, whatever it is, like, just reach out to someone you love, get some help, start rocking on, start healing, and start today. I know that was kind of sporadic and all over the place, but I'm just really, really passionate. I wasted so much of my own most valuable, critical time of healing just being an ignorant, stubborn idiot, that I don't want that for you. Whoever you are, wherever you are at in your healing journey, it's 100% action every second from this second forward. From this moment, you have to be giving 100% every single day, or you will slide backwards. And you can forgive yourself if you have a relapse and just mow Cheetos and lay on the couch and just, everyone makes mistakes. If just shorten that amount of time. Like, if the last time you made a massive amount of effort, made a little bit of progress, started feeling good, started listening, loving, and other people, and also caring for yourself, and eating healthy and losing weight and exercising, but then, someone brought over brownies and you ate brownies and you felt guilty, and so people relapsed into whatever behavior it is. That's just an eating example, but whatever negative behavior you associate with yourself, just make the time to recovery faster. If last time someone brought the brownies over and you ate Cheetos for 7 days and cookies and chocolate milk on your couch, then next time just do it for 6 days, and then 5 days, and then 4 days, and just shorten that relapse time. And eventually, you'll shorten it so much that it'll be instantaneous. You'll just have a little, a nibble or a drink, or have a little bit of whatever it is, whatever your vice is, a little bit of whiskey, a little bit of whatever, and rather than going down a path of destruction, then this is obviously different for if you're a full-blown addict to food or whatever, alcohol, drugs, versus a casual overuser. It's a very fine line, because it might be impossible. Some people it's just a switch. But if you're just the average level of addiction versus full-blown addict behavior, then you'll get to the point where you shorten it so much that it's, you can just indulge a little bit and boom, you're right back to your fitness goals and everything. It's not a relapse. It's not a 6-day, 10-day, 30-day period of nothing. I used to fall off my workout regimen, or I get on a little routine, be doing good for a month or two and be feeling good, and like just go on a little trip and eat too much and drink a little bit and just kind of fall off a little bit. And it'd be like 3 months of just being a vegetable afterwards, just not doing what I needed to do. And I would still, by most people's standards, be like trying pretty dang hard. But when you're given 92% versus 100%, and that last 8% does 99% of moving the needle forward. That's always how it is. It's super unfortunate, but the last little bit of anything is always going to reap such outsized returns. Like, I can't express that enough. Like, if you're doing whatever, bench press, and you do 10 reps, but 13 reps was your failure, those reps number 12 and 13 are going to do more than all of the other reps combined. They are. They're just, if you quit at 10, you're really only doing yourself a huge disservice. Why not just persevere a little bit farther? And if you live every day at 92% of your max, it's not going to be, 10 years later, you're not going to have 8% less than you would have if you had lived at 100. You're going to have 800% less. I mean, your life's going to be, those two lives, those two selves are not recognizable to each other. It's not even the same universe that they live in. So I hope something on here was helpful. I'm going to go. It's getting late and I wake up super early, so I'm going to get to bed. Luckily, I got my eyes protected. I need to get those, if anyone who's in the biohacking sphere or follows any of that has probably seen guys wearing like the orange ones of these, the blue light blockers that really block all the blue light. I need to get those as well. I used to have a pair and they work better than these. These help. I still fall asleep a lot faster than if I don't wear them, but those orange ones were they were awesome. I got out of my ice bath while I was wearing them, and got out of my ice bath one night and they were on my wheelchair and I toast. So sad days, but anyways, these are like $5 on Amazon. So just blue light blocking glasses, highly recommend them. Highly hope that you got some value out of this, that someone out there heard my message and is going to reach out to someone and say, I'm hurting, I need help, I need to tell you how bad it is, just hear me. All you have to do is share how bad it hurts, share the deepest, darkest parts of why it hurts and why you're suffering. Just tell somebody. If you have no one else to tell, DM me, message me, you can lay it all out there. Just tell me how bad it hurts. Share. It's important to share. I don't know why. Again, not a psychologist, not trained in anything other than I have a real estate license now, but doesn't qualify me for very much, diagnostic stuff in the world of brains and human emotion. But I know for sure that sharing helps. It really, really, really helps. It pushes you forward. We're human animals. We're part of tribes. That's where we come from. That's how our DNA is wired, and it does something very significant when we reach out to another human, be vulnerable, and share what's inside of us. So I hope this has landed, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out in my closet with me. Not going to be in the closet for hopefully too much longer. Going to set up a little studio area and get something for the walls, that some of that noise canceling or noise reduction foam, because it sounds like crap out there. I have an actual microphone, not just this little guy, so the sound will be much crisper, much clearer, and we won't have to be in the closet anymore. But Much love, and I wish you a happy evening, afternoon, morning, whatever. Get out there and, give today 100%. You deserve it. Bye-bye.